Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and droids across our beloved Empire. It's great to be in the Empire today, and welcome to Arnold Holland News, the only news you'll ever need. Because you have no other choice. We are still dressed up in the Gucci. We just got off a stream testing out Admiral Radis. Pretty cool initial impressions. Still a lot more to test, but definitely competitive in that Iden Versio type range. We're gonna do a summary video on that, but really what we're here for today, we're just gonna get into it because there's a lot to digest. Road ahead is here, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is definitely, I feel like, a back-to-back lackluster road ahead. Basically, long story short, to keep you not in suspense for too long, we have the Grand Inquisitor reveal. Not the reveal, but the reveal for the date, and which is going to be released. No kit reveal yet to this day, and basically, I told you guys, get ready for it. Datacrons are finally here, and it looks like they are going to be released on June 14th is when we're going to start seeing those be implemented inside a galaxy of heroes. Other than that, that's it. No Galactic Legends, no new form of content. As I kind of said, if you're playing Galaxy Heroes, you got to get used to that. Right now, it's just they're creating mechanics that can be easily changed up. Datacron, so you can change a few settings, so the meta shifts a little bit. And new characters. That's pretty much all we're getting, it seems like. Not even a Galactic Legend announced, which I'm very, very surprised. Not even a GL announcement. Who knows? Maybe no GL announcement later on this year. I know people were hoping for Old Republic stuff. Normally, Galactic Legends are announced during this. So, other thing that might be noteworthy, I did kind of look through this. It's a lot of wording going on here. Seems like maybe they're going to be doing some squad arena change to make it into a sandbox mode. I'm hoping I'm not reading too much into this, but I do want to note this. These Datacrons, it's a big thing. It's going to be changing the game fundamentally for territories and Grand Arena. And shortly after the launch, they're going to be enabling Datacrons and squad arenas so players can understand their impact before locking into Grand Arena championships or territories. Unfortunately, this will not be ready on initial release, which makes me think this is going to be several months down the road. But we expect to be another release within a few weeks of the initial launch to include this change. So hopefully that's the case. Let's get into it. There is so much reading involved into this. If you don't understand what's going on, don't worry. We're probably gonna do this live the day it comes out, and we're gonna try to figure out what's going on here. I don't know. It's kind of bumming, a disappointing seeing what the state of Galaxy is. Just new characters, slow character release, and Datacrons, new progression. All it is progression. As we said, it's a hybrid between the Conquest discs as well as mods. That's what it kind of seems like. They're making some sort of new hybrid between the two. My gosh, what a lot to go through here. I'm just gonna jump straight down here, right to the Grand Inquisitor. 6 months it took for this guy to come out. Pretty nuts. That's how slow it's been this year, and the faction has not been enjoyable until we've gotten the Grand Inquisitor. Long story short, nothing much to read here. It's mostly just wording here. It's gonna come out on June 22nd, and then available for 7 days starting on June 23rd. The event's going to be called The Dark Times, and you'll be running a variety of training exercises for the Inquisitors. The player will first face off against the Grand Inquisitor in a 5-on-1 battle, and then take on a series of Jedi who escaped Order 66 in an assortment of environments specific to those Jedi. Sounds kind of cool. It's been a while since we had kind of like a cool legendary-based event. The encounter would seem one-sided at first, with 5 Inquisitors taking on a single Jedi, but the Jedi will have thematic buffs to make them more formidable opponents. And then let's keep moving on. We know it's Relic 5 requirements. Unfortunate, they redefined what a legendary event means. So I was hoping it was gonna look more like this. Again, whoever does the 2D art, banger job, amazing. I hope you're getting paid well. This, the in-game models never really excite me, but nonetheless, we're still waiting for the kit reveal, and they kind of give us a little hint on how he's gonna be working. Allegedly, he's going to help allies by stacking up and keeping the purge on enemies. One of the biggest problems is purge goes away way too quickly, it seems like. Increasing purge effectiveness and a new debuff called Torture. The Grand Inquisitor can weaken even the strongest opponents and crush their hopes of winning the battle by ensuring his target takes extra damage. While the Grand Inquisitor is primarily designed to work with an all-Inquisitor squad, he can also pop Empire allies to assist him in his quest to wipe out all traces of the Jedi Order. My hope is we can make use out of him with Lord Vader. That's one of the big speculation points, is will he make Lord Vader more competitive? The problem is Master Kenobi just miles upon miles better. So it's really a Kenobi problem we have in the game, not so much Lord Vader, but in comparison to Kenobi, Lord Vader's just not up to snuff. Who knows? Maybe Grand Inquisitor might help out. And this is where we got to spend the grand majority of our conversation talking about Datacrons, we saw the leak. The leak was true. CG confirmed the leak. Did they change much? Well, let's just say this. There's definitely a lot that we didn't see in the leak that we're seeing now. Let's read it together. We're going to read this pretty much word for word because I don't want to scare you guys. I want to make sure we're reading exactly from the horse's mouth here. So let's get on into it. This is pretty much the road ahead for the next couple months here. They didn't even tell us like where we're going with the next like character batches. Like what theme are we shooting for? It's like, man, pretty disappointing. Two road aheads back to back. Anyways, let's stay on topic. Here on the Holiday News, we are not biased. We just read the facts and that's it. That's why you never need any other news out there. Datacrons. I'm still going to call it Datacrons. They're not crons. It's a con, in my opinion. All right, new feature for Galaxy Heroes, which means there are tons of details to share. We'll start off by establishing the improvements we're adding to the game with this release, and then discuss the general structure of Datacrons and why they're the culmination of how we've been approaching the game for years. Yeah, basically their culmination is just getting this game on cruise control so they can put all their effort into Lord of the Rings and just let this game coast. Add a couple new characters, change up Datacrons, change up the conquest modifiers, and that's pretty much what's going on. It's unfortunate. We've known they've been wanting to make this move because they don't like raids because they expire. You know, there's an end, there's not a long shelf life. Territorials, they don't like territorials. There's a shelf life. They like this because there's not really a shelf life and it's easy to make changes and put it on cruise control. That's just Galaxy Heroes, whether you like it or not. Next, we'll cover how they'll be unlocked in the game and the general structure of how they will vary from set to set. Finally, we'll talk about the initial exhibition experience and the first couple runs where we'll be experimenting and gathering feedback. Ready for the journey, yeah? Again, I do want to say this. I love seasonal bonuses. I love Omicrons. I love things that add power to useless characters and make them amazing, or even new characters like Admiral Radis here. The pay-to-win aspect and what we saw in the beta with basically you invest resources in-game and then they get destroyed at the very end of 3 months. So basically you're putting money in or investing and it just goes away. That's the problem I have. Let's see though. Introduce new and interesting mechanics that revitalize your collection. Datacrons are intended to be a way to temporarily raise the power level and use a wider set of squads without disrupting long-term investment goals like journey guides, galactic legends, etc. We've always intended for the meta of galaxies to be dynamic and ever-changing. I agree. I would like that. With new characters and factions entering the Haltos. Of course, you got me here still. Sometimes shifted meta and then cycling out as new characters and factions replace them. Some characters and squads ultimately find places durable, broad, or narrow utility in specific modes, but our intent is that no part of your collection permanently cycles out of usefulness. I had a question today while we were doing our live stream testing. We're getting to the point where I have almost all the characters to gear 13. But I'm not going to gear up characters just because. There might be a day where Mob Enforcer, Lobot, Bodhi is going to maybe make something happen. I mean, look, we only got, what, 3 lines of characters not geared? They're probably looking at stuff like, all right, we want to make Lobot gods here. And if you don't have Lobot, well, sucks to suck. So they're definitely, I can see them want to target all this. That's why they love Grand Inquisitor, because it affects a large part of your roster. Anyways, to date, we have largely managed that return to utility through reworks, new Omicrons, and feats and modifiers, or through power creep, and unfortunately, nerfs like the great nerf of 2021. But here we go. Datacrons give you a strong reason to care about upgrading a character over time, any character, and have it be a valuable addition to your roster day one or for months and years down the road. They increase the flexibility and design space around new mechanics and provide opportunities for more theory crafting. This gives us a new way to regularly highlight a part of your collection and give it a high utility in the game. So if you're a Lobot fanatic and they do a Lobot bonus for 3 months, hey, it's your time to shine. In a clearly communicated and transparently scheduled, albeit non-permanent way. There is a balance to be struck between frequency and impacts of how we introduce new mechanics, power to factions broadly, and this is something we'll be experimenting with Datacrons in the initial exhibition period. So I mean, there's a lot already right there. So far, if let's say Lobot is meta, he's gonna be like God tier, GL status for 3 months. You don't have him, you're screwed? Question mark? And then when his reign ends in 3 months and you lose the resources and he's no longer powerful, then you just spent all this time gearing up a character that there's a lot to go in. Obviously, this is going to be greatly beneficial to Krakens and Whales who have a big majority of their roster done. The question is, let's say a lot of people have Supreme Kylo, Sith Eternal, Master Kenobi, and your roster's a bit limited. This is probably not going to help much, but maybe there might be a bonus of the month that's going to help your Kenobi or Supreme Kylo at least stay competitive, even though you don't have everything. So there's pros and cons just looking at it from that point right there. Importantly, Datacrons are intended to primarily be a separate and complementary economy in parallel to the current set of progresses without substantially interfering with players' existing resources management in a way that gives much more long-term value to overall collection. That was one of the problems we saw in the beta. We saw that to upgrade this stuff, it required like actual relic materials. And then the game would automatically delete them, and then you pretty much lose. You'd get a little bit back, but you lose those resources. Hopefully they're creating a full separate system for this. So what our Datacrons we see right here, interesting, it kind of they're finding a way to fill up that last slot right there. New way to upgrade your squads, temporary special abilities, and buffs. It's only for Grand Inquisitor championships and territories, and it seems like they're going to make them usable in Squad Arena. Fingers crossed. They make Squad Arena like a sandbox mode and unlimited attempts. That's one of my biggest complaints. Like, I want to play their game that they kick me out after like 20 battles. These can bring a great squad to the next level or boost underused older squads and characters back to relevancy. They are applied to squad select screen and will be visible when viewing enemy squads and Grand Inquisitor championships and territories right over there. Datacrons will be available when players reach level 85 and should become a larger area of focus as players grow. It's kind of like mods. Like, you got to embrace mods here. It's kind of interesting. Starting at the very tail end of the squad thing. All right, there you go. Equip a Datacron. So here we go. Oh man, let's boy, this we're not even halfway done, guys. We got a lot to read here. A Datacron has 9 unlockable levels. This is what we did see inside of the beta leak, and special mechanics for alignments, factions, and specific characters. The bonuses are rolled randomly at the time of unlock. So here's what you got. We already saw this. Here's a picture right here. We saw something along this line of the leak. For the first 2 levels, it's a random increase. So this is the mod element. So extra tenacity, extra potency. I don't think there's any extra speed. It looks like there's no speed being targeted, at least so far. And then once you hit, kind of like mods, once you hit every 3rd level, you reveal a secondary or level up a secondary, basically. Every 3rd level, going up to level 9, 3, 6, 9, you're going to unlock a new ability. So think of like Conquest and the data discs that are associated with that. So you're going to get a bonus mechanic for dark or light side characters at large. For example, here, it shows whenever a light side allies daze or stun an enemy, they recover 10% health and protection. Okay. When you reach level 6, you're going to get a specific faction bonus, and then level 9, a specific character bonus. And this is where things get challenging, kind of like mods. If you don't like what you get, you got to keep rolling until you get the right faction, the right alignment, the right character. And this is where you kind of get into this perpetual grind. Kind of like mods. Mods have more of a definitive endpoint. So, like, once you roll, you're screwed if you didn't get the right rolls. Here, it seems like you can keep going here. Moving on here. All Datacron levels have a relic requirement. Levels 1 through 8 require minimum relic level 3 from level 1 to 3. 4 through 8, you need relic 5. So if you don't have any relic characters, we're not really going to get any bonus out of this. Again, it's more for people with developed rosters. It's not hard to get gear 13. Your first few gear 13s to get your roster going, but you can't utilize this at gear 12, gear 11. Level 9 checks for the relic level of the relevant character. So relic 7. Since they'll only impact a character as long as the rest of the squad meets the requirements of the previous bonus mechanics, levels 3 and 6. This means the squad may not get all the bonus stats, but as long as everyone besides the character targeted is level 9, is at relic 5, and the target character is at relic 7, the target character will get the level 9 bonus mechanic. So this is good. One of the things we saw, I think they heard a lot of complaints about this again. I know... I used to be, at least the game changer program was the beta program at one point, more or less, and the beta program kind of turned into like the more exclusive game changer program where it is nowadays. I know, especially from hearing people that were kicked out like in the past couple years, they're not the best at receiving feedback, and that's why the beta program is only so limited to what it can do. But when you release it to the grand public out there, you're gonna get lots of feedback, unfiltered, non-biased, because we don't care, because we're not in your beta program. We're not trying to walk on eggshells. So it's good to see. Originally, it showed relic 9 or above before in the leak. Now it's just relic 7. So that's nice. So you don't need relic 9 to utilize this. So I think our feedback helps craft this quite a lot. You can browse a list of Datacrons and pick the right one for your squad. You can review their stats and see what will be active for the current squad you're about to use. So you have your Datacron tab. It's going to be right under the journey guide, ship, squads, and characters here. And here's your equip page. So you kind of can go through. It looks like what is this right here? So this is for Dark Side Inquisitor. So there's some Inquisitor bonus. Let's just read, for example. Dark Side allies start their turn with at least 3 buffs. Nice. That can be dispelled. They gain 5% offense until the end of the encounter. Cool. Whenever an Inquisitor's ally starts their turn with at least 2 debuffs, that can be dispelled. They have a 65% chance to dispel debuffs. Okay, so that's going to affect the Inquisitors right there. And I don't see the level 9 bonus. All right. So how to improve? How do you go up the variety of tiers? of the Datacrons. Each Datacron set comes with its own Datacrons, upgrade materials, and reroll materials. The reroll one, I think, is going to be the big one. These sets share a common structure, common, uncommon, and rare versions of each material type, but each can only be used for its matching Datacron. Man, this is... A video would have been nice to go with this, I think. This is intended to ensure that players can chase each set without worrying about missing out on future opportunities. It also ensures the system can reduce inflation over time, allowing us to keep upgrade costs more stable over time and a fair start to each new set's release. So here we go. Data cache. Cache, I don't know. Potato, am I right? In addition, there is a general data cache currency that persists across all sets and is used as the basic currency for actions in the system. All right. Let's keep moving on here. I'm not sure what I'm trying to see here, except that the Datacron is leveled up down there. Each Datacron set will cover several factions and characters. Factions will cycle and return in the future to provide repeated value for investing in these factions, but there will always be a wide variety of combinations with new and old bonuses. Okay, cool. So that kind of addresses kind of one of my concerns of Lobot's great. When's the next time is going to be great? Like, well, I feel like I just wasted resources. They didn't really tell us what the cycle looks like, but they'll come back around to it one point or another. Again, there's going to be they have a schedule they're going to show us. We saw this in the beta. There's going to be multiple discs at a time, so they're going to be cycling a couple of these. Here's another one right here. Effects for light side characters. Whenever light side allies start their turn with at least 3 buffs. Oh, we already read that. That was a second ago. We saw that. Here are some examples of what bonuses sets could look like. Yeah, we kind of read this. Whenever dark side character stays, it's all right. So that's pretty standard. We saw that already. Whenever light side characters start, whenever light side character allies start their turn, for each enemy with fewer than 4 debuffs, the ally gains 30% potency till end turn. All right, that's kind of lame. Hey, I mean, extra potency never hurts, I suppose. Oh man, we have some Galactic Republic bonuses. Man. Galactic Republic allies gain 1 stack of Retaliate for 3 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, prevented. Retaliate, when damaged by an attack, deal 20% damage received per stack. So it's kind of like the, boy, what's that? The mirror damage that they have inside of Conquest that everyone loves. A steadfast retribution, I believe is what it's called. Yeah, pretty nuts. So it seems like they're kind of bringing some of that. Again, it's bringing some of the, it's like Conquest just kind of spilling into other game modes. So we're not like unfamiliar with it. It's unfamiliar for Grand Arena and Territory Wars. Whenever Galactic Republic allies inflict stagger or stun on an enemy, they deal bonus damage equal to 35% of that max health. Boy, that's nuts. Galactic Republic allies grant another buff. Grant the buff to another ally. Getting 10% turn meter. That's going to be useless in Padme and Master Kenobi, but still, you can find some ways. Maybe you make it useful in other lesser-known teams. Ayla Sakura and Mother Talzin. Let's check this out. We had a character-specific bonus. Ayla, whenever another ally recovers protection, Ayla gains Foresight. Cool. Whenever an enemy is stunned, Ayla Sakura takes a bonus turn. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's like things like this. I enjoy seeing useless characters get help. Make them viable. I'm totally cool with that. Like, this is kind of nice. Like, Ayla Sakura is not really a go-to, but this is kind of nice. Mother Talzin, a character that's decent and kind of out of their heyday, but allies revived by the Great Mother recover an additional 50% health and are not defeated after assisting. Wow. Pretty nuts. At the start of each Mother Talzin's turns, they reset their cooldowns and lose 5% health for each turn. And for each turn, each ability was reduced. Mother Talzin can't be defeated this way. Whenever another ally attacks during Mother Talzin's turn, Mother Talzin and that ally gain 20% turn rate. So cool stuff, you know? It's really gonna... I am 100% transparent and honest how I feel about this game. I think this is gonna be nice because you guys know, like, Grand Arena was really cool again when we got the new changes. It's like, it was cool seeing who's gonna rise that. We all know who the best players are in the game. After the first 2-3 months, like, all right, everyone's kind of bored of it. It's kind of the same stuff. The only thing that changes maybe the occasional character, which really it's just Iden, and that's really been the only main change that we've had in the past couple months is Iden and a couple of Omicrons spread out here and there. This would make Grand Arena more interesting. Territory War is more interesting, not staying stale and relying on only a character or an Omicron. So this, I am a fan of. I just want to make sure I emphasize what I do like about this. I think that's going to be nice, keeping a fresh flavor to Grand Arena territories as often as possible, because otherwise it's going to get stale and then people are not going to care as much. It's just going to be a chore getting your crystals. Players will also be able to re-roll a particular bonus in stat by using a special re-roll currency specific to each set. This is the big thing right here. One of the big things I think we need to look at. You can pick and choose which Datacron levels you want to keep and which you want to re-roll for the perfect combination for your squads. For bonus mechanics at levels 3, 6, and 9, you can see which bonuses you want to choose before you lock in your re-roll. And you can also see the maximum and minimum roll when rolling the stats to determine how good your roll was. All right. Yeah, so no refunds on rerolls. I'm guessing this is the reroll button right there. Again, it's hard to get an opinion on this. I'm sure I'm not gonna like it. I hate randomness. I hate progression. I just wanted to give us the bonuses. Just say, hey, for these next 3 months, these are the bonuses. It's gonna change. I hate that they're making us grind for temporary power, pay, spend resources, when they could just do it, but they want this game to be on cruise control, and they want to make money for this game being on cruise control. So that's the thing I'm very hesitant about. I gotta wait to see this in game. This isn't getting across exactly what this should be. How to get Datacrons. All right, important. Oof, all right, Conquest, boy. All right, they're coming through Conquest. Primarily, each sector in Conquest will now have a special treasure node at the end of the rewards Datacron. So I'm guessing, yeah, so when you reach the final node, normally you just get like some data discs. Seems like now there's gonna be some rewards there. Boy, so Conquest is gonna get even more important. Hard mode will have better Datacron rewards than normal. Oof. Oof. I mean, I guess better rewards, but yeah, if you haven't been taking Conquest seriously, even with the good characters there, you're going to be really screwed if you don't take Conquest seriously. Kind of makes sense why they're making Conquest Omicrons, kind of not still. And later sectors will provide better rewards than the earlier sectors in both difficulties. Okay, so Sector 5 will be better than Sector 1 in normal and hard. You'll be able to repeatedly attempt these treasure nodes to complete feats while earning Datacrons and the materials needed to upgrade and reroll them. The Conquest treasure nodes will be the main place to get Datacrons and its material, but end of event rewards will also contain Datacrons, upgrade materials, reroll materials, and the general data cache currency. In addition, Datacrons can also be found in territories. Oh, there we go. What have I been saying? Oh man, we've been saying there's not an incentive to territory wars. It's not frequent enough. Even Relic 9's not a good incentive. This might be a good incentive. It depends how much is in there. Like, is it only 5% in territories, 95% Conquest? Weekly shipments, that means you're gonna buy them. Daily login calendars, and of course, packs and bundles. I was saying this earlier. I actually applaud them for how they handled Zetas. Zetas were not pay to play. You couldn't buy them, even though whales wanted them. And I think they learned their lesson. They wanted to monetize it. So the second Omicrons came out, monetized that. Monetized this right away. You can break down extra Datacrons called Dismantling while the set is active to get the data cache, reroll, and upgrade materials for that set. Dismantling extra Datacrons will be the major source of upgrade and reroll materials, but you can also get some from Conquest treasure nodes, Conquest under event rewards, and daily log characters, territory wars, and will provide some Datacrons, but will be a consistent source of Mark II, Mark III upgrade reroll materials, in addition to Conquest treasure nodes and the end of event rewards. Goodness. Almost there, guys. Don't you worry. I know it's a lot. We're not going to really understand this truly until we get our hands on it. Understand the randomness, the rerolls, the pay-to-play aspect of this, and how's it really going to affect, the haves and have-nots. Datacron shipments will also have Datacrons from all active sets, not just current set dropping from Conquest. Lastly, there will be a free and paid daily logging calendars with these materials that supplement. So it sounds like they might be moving towards battle pass is the right word. We do have a couple of paid daily logging calendars already. So, but it comes across as maybe like a battle pass. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Some reward Datacrons and materials. Most recent set. So, all right. Datacrons are going to go primary sources Conquest, secondary sources territories. All right. This might influence how important Omicrons are for territories. We'll have to wait and see. Secondary source, daily logging calendars, shipments. All right. So basically, again, just kind of showing in general where we can find the variety of resources that we're going to need. The Datacrons, the individual upgrade and reroll materials for Mark 1 and 2, the more exclusive Mark 3 upgrade ones, only found on Conquest Hearts. That's going to be the big one right there. Yeah, I'm not seeing... Oof. Well, that could be rough. Let's see. Conquest. Yes, this is the big one right here. If you're not doing hard mode Conquest, you're going to miss out on that. And then also territories. There we go. Primary. So it seems like there might be an even split between those, perhaps, in terms of Mark 3 upgrade and reroll materials. Secondary source, dismantling Datacrons, depending on Datacron level. Secondary source, shipments, data cache. The general currency can be found in Conquest, primarily territory shipments. So it looks like territories is going to get some important upgrades. And this, as I said, the reason why we care so much about Grand Arena and the Omicrons going into Grand Arena is because the main source of your economy is there. But now we have all this viability that we need to bolster our Grand Arena and Territory War roster to make sure we're keeping up with Grand Arena. It's going to be tied to territory. So that's probably where the importance is going to come down to. All right, let's move down here. Finally, a source of materials is from the dismantling of Datacrons at the end of the set cycle. The now inactive set will automatically be scrapped, and a portion of these materials will be granted back to your inbox as a head start to the next active set. This leads to our next point, life cycle of Datacrons. So good news is I truly do believe they heard our feedback. Thing number one I'm noticing right away is no longer do you need Relic 9 to benefit from the highest tier upgrade, it seems like. And secondly, they were showing originally they were using relic materials. Good to see there's no relic materials. So it's completely independent of the normal economy, our gear, and our relic upgrades. That's good. I was extremely worried about that beyond belief, that they were going to require us what's already a crunch getting relics together, invest in this, and then they take away the resource. So good thing is completely original resource here. So that is nice that we have that. Let's take a look at this life cycle. So here's the overall life cycle. Datacrons, so acquire and upgrade. You're going to earn Datacrons plus upgrade and reroll materials to get and develop the best Datacrons for your roster. Use your Datacrons in Grand Arena and territories to dominate your opponent. Yeah, you're going to be dominated. Yeah, for sure. Holy cow, small print. You probably can't see this. This set's Datacrons are dropped as rewards from Conquest in Grand Arena and territories, along with the daily login calendar. The set's upgrade and reroll materials are dropped as rewards from Conquest and territories. They are also available from shipments and the daily login calendar. Use this set's Datacrons in battle right away. Dismantle unused Datacrons from this set to get upgrades and the reroll materials for this set. All right, battle. Continue to use your powered up Datacrons and the hollow tables. Upgrade and reroll materials are only available in limited quantities. Okay, and then dismantle. This is the big concern right there. Again, luckily it's not tied to gear and relics materials. The resources used to upgrade this set's Datacrons are dismantled, and a portion of those can be used for the next set that's going to be released. Still sucks they only give you a portion back and not all of it. But again, you know, if they would just, it's kind of like why they won't let you like take all the gear from one character and put it to another. I kind of get it, I guess. I guess it's a good compromise for a collector game like this. As mentioned above, Datacrons are temporary power and will eventually be dismantled into resource for other Datacron sets. We have recently rearranged our event schedule into a 28-day segment. As we saw recently, it's kind of the coincide of this, which organizes into chapters. Makes sense why they're making Grand Arena only 3 weeks instead of 4 weeks now. Each set is active for some number of chapters, and a new Datacron set will launch at the start of each chapter. Let's take a look at a few examples. So, Chapter 1, which again, it looks like June 14th, next Tuesday. Acquire, battle, and then they get dismantled after the 3rd month, and then you go into another one. So we're gonna start off with one set, and then Chapter 2, we're gonna start getting a second set, and then there's gonna be it seems like eventually, once we kind of break in, we're going to start frequently having 3 different sets inside the game that are going to come, be acquired, upgrade, dismantle over and over again. So a rinse and repeat cycle again. Cruise control for Galaxy of Heroes. The duration of each chapter is something we are experimenting with. More on that in a moment. Oh boy. So again, this is a very, very wordy thing. We already saw the leak, and I read this. It kind of more or less fits it. So I'm going to keep this very simple. It's just a verbal breakdown of what you're seeing in this graph right here. Chapter 1, you're going to acquire upgrade set 1. These are the places where you can get them from. Chapter 2, you're going to acquire an upgrade set 2. Chapter 3, acquire an upgrade set 3. And the list goes on and on and on. Eventually, set 1 will expire, get dismantled. New ones come in like Chapter 4. Set 4 is going to come in. It's just a rinse and repeat cycle. This makes it look a lot more confusing than it is. I think this is a pretty good graphic showing how the sets work when they expire. I think we kind of get the drill at that point. So there's kind of like this cooldown period where you can't use them right away, but this is your period where you're getting ready. You're upgrading them, and then eventually you can battle. You battle for pretty much, it looks like 2 chapters. After the 2nd chapter, it goes away. So that seems to be the drill here. So we have this exhibition round. First round, testing it out. Here's what we're to expect. The first set of Datacrons will be an accelerated test with each Datacron set running for at least 2 28-day chapters, which means that during the exhibition, each set is only live for around 3 months total. We suspect this is too fast for these set cycles. It does seem a little fast. We want to get the first few sets into your hands and see them side by side as a single set at a time. All right, to get you started, there's a daily login calendar, special inbox with a bunch of resources to try out the Datacrons right away, and event rewards. All right. Here's the schedule. Boy, yeah. Talk about reader's fatigue here. Definitely would have been nice to have a video. I think it would be nice to kind of just see the re-rolling happen and all that other stuff. This is the applying, the acquiring, upgrading, putting it to a squad. So set 1's going to start on June 14th through September 4th. Okay. So you're going to acquire an upgrade between June 14th and September 10th through Conquest and Territory Wars. And then 7 through 11, or 7-11, so June 11th, again, there's this cooldown phase where after you acquire, you get into the battle phase all of a sudden. Then set 2 will start coming into Galaxiers in July 11th, and it's going to run until October 2nd. So between July 11th through August 7th, you're going to acquire an upgrade through Conquest and Territories. And then through August 8th to, October 2nd, you go into the battle phase. That's kind of how it's going to roll. So here's the set 1 info that we have right here. Hey, Inquisitors. What do you know? So if you don't have the Inquisitors, oh, how unfortunate. They've been really trying to force this team down our throats. That's for sure. I'm hoping they're going to be great with Grand Inquisitor, but we'll have to wait and see. So we're going to have facts specific to Inquisitorius, Galactic Republic, and Resistance. Character specific bonuses. So you got Fifth Brother, Second Sister, Jedi Master Kenobi. Yikes, that's going to be pretty nuts, probably. Grandmaster Yoda, Ayla Sakura, Rey, and then some of the other guys. And you're right. Those are the materials we need. Here we go. Stat increases right here. Again, I'm not seeing speed. I'm glad there's no speed. Goodness gracious. Thank you, goodness, for no speed. Here's the mechanics here. All right, we kind of read a little bit of this. Yeah, we already kind of read a little bit of this here. So this is sort of what we saw earlier on. I want to see the... Oh, boy. Goodness. You know, it's already bad enough you have to read a lot and memorize a lot of kid stuff. Imagine before battle, it's like, all right, I got to do this. It's going to be a lot. I mean, it's going to be a theory crafter's dream. Again, I'm really excited for the potential here. My only concern was the pay-to-win aspect. Oh, my gosh. Lots of... Yeah, look at this. Whenever resistance ally granted a buff to another ally, that ally gains 10% turn meter. So, like, think of Galactic Legends Rey. If she does her critical damage immunity at the beginning, like she always does, boom, 10% turn meter for everyone. Pretty cool. Man, this is gonna be great stuff here. I look at it when resistance allies start their turn with fewer than 2 buffs, all their allies gain 50% turn meter. So at the very beginning, Rey does the critical damage immunity, right? That's already 10% turn meter right there. Imagine if you can also get an extra 15% because that's only 1 buff on your team. My gosh. Then mechanics characters. Here we go. Oh, gosh. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. While Jedi Master Kenobi has the high ground, all allies ignore protection. If this wasn't already bad enough before. Jedi Master Kenobi has 5% max health and max protection for relic amplifier and damage restate. So it's kind of like a unique ability multiplied. The first time each turn Jedi Master Kenobi gains alta charge, they gain an additional 6% alta charge. So here's the thing, you're gonna have to roll and hope you get the roll that you want. And I would think, Master Kenobi, might be kind of nice to get up and running. You got some Resistance Trooper potential here. Let's see. We got some Ayla Sakura. We already saw some of those with the bonus turn, getting the foresight. Second system mechanics. 3 bonuses from everyone is expendable whenever an enemy or Empire ally is defeated. All right, so you kind of get through. We don't need to read every single one of these. I'm pretty sure, you know what, we might do another video kind of going in depth. We're going to probably do like frequent what's the meta of the Datacron type of thing. So there's a lot of stuff here. A lot of examples to kind of get an idea of what to expect. I kind of want to read this. Oh, man. Heir to the Jedi deals 75% more damage for each other active ally. That could be rough for Sith Eternal, trying to get through them. My goodness, that could be horrible. First time Rey gains ultimate charge, they gain an additional 6%. Oh, my gosh. Whew. Kind of, it's a lot of stuff to throw out there right now. My gosh. Here's your materials for upgrading. Then you have your materials for rerolling. Again, I'm happy there's no relic materials. I'm hoping they heard our feedback on that. And then here's some more. Again, lots of different bonuses here that we got. Yeah, lots of different bonuses. You guys get the drill. I highly recommend maybe reading this yourself, getting some ideas. Once we get it, I think we're going to start understanding how this future meta is going to look like. It's not going to be stale. It's not going to be stable. It's going to be always in motion. It seems like, kind of imagine they're just kind of releasing Omicrons very frequently, and they're going to go away after a while and then come back. Anyways, so we talked about this. They're going to try to create some sort of sandbox mode for Datacrons and Squadron. Please, please, please get rid of the arena refresh crystals one, and so more importantly, get rid of the cap. If I want to play more than 20 battles, whatever it is, let me play your game, CG. Especially people spending money on your game, or people just want to enjoy themselves. It's already bad if we can't play with our friends. Yet alone, we can't play in Squadron as much as we want. But that's got to get rid of so we can test as much as we want to have fun. So here we go. The wrap up here. Wow, long video, but a lot to talk about. Datacrons will help provide regular fresh metas in Grand Arena Championships and territories and help build up a long-term content and progression. I don't know about content. It's mostly progression. This isn't really content, in my opinion. It's just 2022 Galaxy of Heroes. If you're looking for new content, Lord of the Rings is probably the one to look for. Yes, we're excited to bring you Datacrons, and know it's going to take up some iteration during exhibition to get to its final form, but we believe Datacrons will open up interesting design space and provide more ongoing use to your collection. A final reminder of these details are subject to change. It's a ton to digest. Yeah. They're gonna have a Q&A talking about this stuff. So again, just to emphasize, I like power changes. I like when useless characters become great all of a sudden. I'm a fan of that. I was always a fan of those temporary territory bonuses we had way back in the day, where Mace Windu, Dooku, Grievous, Coruscant Under Police were amazing. Clone Troopers were amazing. It's just this part was my biggest concern, and the Relic 9 requirement. Relic 9 one way, it's Relic 7, not as bad. Not even Relic 8, so that's kind of cool. And no gear or relics needed to upgrade, reroll. So I'm happy to see that. So it's got its own thing. It's independent. But man, it's a big thing. I will say though, still kind of a lackluster road ahead. Would have been nice to get actual content. Would have been nice, I don't know, even get a Galactic Legend announcement. But as I said, the game right now, you know, like it or not, add a new character, and then implementing ways, progression that's kind of self updating with the times, or over time it just naturally changes. All they can do is just type in a few keys, coding things, and that's it. Whereas unlike raids and territory battles, there's a shelf life with stuff like that. Unfortunately, I do hope they still do some other actual, like, real fun content. Like, why can't we have a Death Star raid? This game is, goodness, 7 years old soon, and not even a Death Star raid. The thing that made Star Wars. I don't know, too sentimental. Different game maybe, perhaps, but you guys let me know what you think. It's a lot to digest. I would say let's not freak out and too much until we see it next week, but I do see some improvement, and I do think the leak was probably one of the best things that this needed for the game. 1000%. I'm glad that people got to react to it and not just leave it to like a couple of beta people that are walking on eggshells to make sure they stay in CG's good graces. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe so you're not missing a thing. Whew. It's gonna be interesting. Some cool things, some worrisome things, but I guess we'll work through it together, because you guys know around here, it's great to be in the Empire today.